I like to start off any painting by first mixing my paints. I'm not someone who really enjoys context switching, so I like to make sure I have the colors I need before I get started. I can always make slight adjustments if I need to tweak something, but I hate having to stop constantly and make colors when I'm locked in painting. It gets a bit distracting for me. Next thing I like to do is my outline. I just like to block out generally where I plan to put everything. So today I wanted to try and paint something with a more complex background. I tend to do abstract color fields for the backgrounds of my paintings, but I wanted to focus a little bit on world building and with a somewhat more defined setting. I cheated a bit as the setting is at night, but I really love rich, dark backgrounds, and I didn't want to have to be overly detailed as I really need to finish this painting in just a few hours. So what we have today is this like frog, toad, gnome hybrid, kind of chilling on a mushroom on some planet far away. As a kid growing up, I always loved frog and toad, so maybe this is a slight nod to my love for these books. I don't know. I wanted something a little strange and silly that I wouldn't get too attached to so that I could paint a little more freely and not get weighed down with anxiety of trying to perfect and create this painting that is like a representation of this like perfect idea or just this important idea that I really wanted to express. I just wanted to keep it kind of light. So anyhow, let's get started. For the painting, I tend to start with the background. The background will be a deep dark blue that then transitions into a deep dark green. I'm just getting his little hat filled in and painting the top of the mushroom cap. I really struggle with smooth blending, and I tend to actually like a little streakiness, but I'm doing my best to give this mushroom cap body and dimension by using color transitions and blending. Now I'm painting the foundation for the face. This is the part that scares me the most, as I am absolutely not good with faces of any sort. I usually avoid painting them, but hey, practice leads to growth, right? At this point, I'm also looking at my painting and having extreme doubts as to whether I can even pull this off. Starting to feel like I'm in over my head and that I'm wasting my time. The painting looks so bad right now. At this point, I'm really just telling myself to keep going and then maybe somehow this thing will turn out okay. Filling in the background more and starting to paint some of the plant life. I'm going to do like purple flowers and blue mushrooms and green ferns kind of emerging a little bit from the darkness. Getting his little tunic added. Still have a lot of doubt, but pushing through. Finally worked up the courage to really start adding some detail to the face. The background is very daunting for me, and I still don't really like this painting, but I'm at least feeling confident that I can get it to a place that I like. The hands were pretty stressful, but also very fun. I layered on deep blue for shadows and brown for midtones. I'm also adding some details to the ground. This planet has 2 moons, so we're going to throw that in there. Working on the second hand now. I didn't want to make the creature green, but I hoped that by adding blues to the yellows, it would kind of read as like a greenish yellow type of color. I'm actually starting to feel okay about painting and think I can maybe even turn this into something that I kind of like a little bit. Alright, so this is where I stopped for the day. At this point, I've been painting for about 2 hours and we'll come back in a couple of days to finish the rest. Okay, time to pick up where we left off. I decided to start with the legs. I know that I didn't really draw them in all that well, but I think I can kind of like tighten it up some. I'm just going in and adding shadows to kind of help give them a better shape too. For the shadows, I'm using the same color as the background night sky, so that deep blue color. Same as with the face, I'm using browns as well for the mid colors. Also adding red paint to the mushroom around where the legs are to kind of tighten up the shape a little bit and correct over the yellow. Now I'm tackling these background mushrooms. These ended up being really fun for me to paint. This is also when I started to feel a shift and I really started liking the painting and kind of releasing some of that anxiety and having a little bit of fun with it. Here I am now tackling the flowers. I'm alternating between adding purple for the flowers and then the deep blue for the background, just to kind of, make the shape really tight and crisp, and even kind of overlaying some of that blue just to make sure it feels part of the darkness while still emerging from the darkness. I'm also adding a little bit of that deep blue to add some details to the flower. Oh, I'm also gonna put like a little tiny mushroom tucked away over here. Adding the ferns and the green foliage here. Foliage. Heart starts to burn, baby. I'm just trying to learn your body language. Here you'll notice the camera jump a bit. Someone called me while I was recording and I didn't realize my camera had stopped, but yeah, I finished the leaves and went on to the step, which really brought everything together, in my opinion, which are the polka dots on the mushroom. Painting those were very cathartic for some reason. And as the final step, I added a couple of stars to the sky. And there you have it. This is the finished piece, and I think it turned out nicely. And most importantly, once I was able to kind of release the stress and self-doubt, I had a lot of fun painting it, and I feel that much more confident in my abilities. Hope you enjoyed this as well. Thanks for tuning in, and definitely stay tuned if you want to see what else I end up painting. Thanks again, everyone.